and welcome to Dropping into Happiness. This is the quintessential. This is episode 1. So welcome. I am Rachel, and with me today is
Maggie. Hello.
Yay! Hello, Miss Maggie. So this actually is something that Maggie and myself have talked about doing for quite some time, and it's here. The day is officially here. So this entire podcast actually came about because Maggie and myself are both on a wellness journey, and we want to tell you a little bit about it today. So Maggie, do you want to kick us off of who you are and kind of a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, so I am Maggie, as we mentioned, and I'm 28 years old. I started my health and wellness journey officially in February of 2020. February 10th was my starting date, and I use WW as a tool for my wellness. Through WW, I've lost over 100 pounds, and I still have about 45 to go until I'm at my maintenance weight. I've always had a joy of running. I also love to do Orange Theory Fitness. I am a classically trained opera singer and dog mom. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
That's amazing. That's funny. My name is Rachel. I too, I've lost just over 100 pounds. I started my third and final journey, also with WW actually last January. It was January 8th. 2020. I hit my 100-pound weight loss goal in April of this year, 2021, and been on maintenance ever since. So maintenance meaning I'm not trying to lose, I'm not trying to gain, I'm trying to just stay right there. I did my entire program with 2 teenagers and a husband in the house who were not on program. I am also in Southern California, where there is a lot of food, a lot of restaurants, and a lot of cool things going on. So, yeah. Well, speaking of who we are, this entire podcast really is going to be kind of about certain things along our journey that we have noticed. We want to just talk about, we want to share with everybody, because as you can tell, Maggie and I are not nutritionists. We are not physical therapists. We are not personal trainers. We did this amazing test, this amazing feat on our own. So to say, if you can see me, I'm doing air quotes right now. We did this on our own, but also with the WW community. And it's been just a really huge impact on our life. So I want to kind of get into the nitty gritty of it with you, though, Maggie. And so why did you want to lose weight? Like, did you have a significant kind of life happening that you were like, wow, I need to do this?
I don't really know if I had a light bulb moment. I have been overweight since puberty, and I have had many a person tell me that I should think about losing weight. Many a doctor encouraged me to lose weight. Family members speaking from experience and knowing what a life is like being overweight, encouraging me, while you're young, lose the weight. Even in my industry as an opera singer, I was encouraged to lose the weight. And even though, of course, I knew that there were going to be lots of benefits to that and living a healthy lifestyle, it didn't really click for a long time. Or I would try some things and then fall off the wagon, try some things, fall off the wagon, and my why just wasn't really strong enough. But it was in February that I just started to kind of feel fed up with the limitations. I was tired of having to ask for a seatbelt extender. I was tired of being afraid, waiting in line for theme park attractions. Will I fit in the seat? And oftentimes not fitting in the seat.
Yeah.
There were just a few things where I felt like, okay, I'm being held back here. And I was seeing the trajectory of my life in family members that were going through some serious health issues because of their weight. And I said, all right, you know what? Enough's enough. We're going to make a change. So that was the big turning point, I would say.
Yeah, I know. Mine is very medically backed. And you happen to say something that I don't know if everybody understands, but you said my why. So for those that don't know, within our WW world and community, we have a why. Why do I want to do this? This is my why. And that's kind of your statement that you kind of stick to and hold on to. And my why actually, I mean, I wasn't an overweight child or teen, but the second I got out of high school, I put on 50 plus pounds, and it just kept getting higher after that. Like within 12 months, I put on 50 pounds after high school because I was very active, but I was also a really poor eater. And which is something I really, really try and teach my kids now not to do, because I mean, come on, when you're at that age, your metabolism's high and you're going, you're this and you're that, and it's just, you don't realize the repercussions of when you stop being that active and you keep on with that trajectory of that same eating pattern. From then on, I was very, very heavy. So from 2000, I was just all the way. And 2002 was the first time I signed up for WW. Loved it, but I got to a point where I was like, oh, I'm good. And I didn't really think to hold on to all the habits that I was building. I actually did it 2 other times. But the final time, so back in January 2020, my mom had called me and she told me, okay, well, the doctor just diagnosed me with diabetes, which literally like every woman in my mom's side of the family had diabetes. And I think my mom just thought as, oh, well, it's going to happen. That's just who we are. But the second she said that, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do this too. Because she said, I need to do something. I'm going to join WW. And I was like, all right, me too. And I got off the phone with her and I immediately signed up, and I called her back. I was like, okay, I'm all signed up. And she's like, no, that's not why I was telling you. And I was like, well, I'm going to do it though. We're going to do it. And like I said, then, a year and a half later, I'm down 100 pounds and my mom has no need for any sort of medication whatsoever for her diabetes. Yeah,
that's
nothing
so
whatsoever.
awesome.
Her doctors, because of course, when she first got diagnosed, they put her on some because they were like, oh, well, we need to do this and we need to do that. But strictly with watching her diet and her exercise, she's been able to absolutely maintain her blood sugar levels. But that was also a waking up point for me, because I didn't think my mom was that heavy. I didn't think my mom was that unhealthy. And I was like, okay, I do not want diabetes. We have cancer that runs in my family, and ovarian cancer and lung cancer and all these. And I know sometimes cancer just isn't always something we can avoid, but in my mind, I was thinking, if there's anything I can do to increase these, cancer fighting cells in my body, if I can prevent, my blood sugar levels from being all wackadoo, like, why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I want to live easier? I don't want to be reliant on medication. I don't want to be reliant on these things. And I had gotten to a very heavy weight for myself. I wouldn't be surprised if I was really getting up towards like a pre-diabetic stage. I hadn't been diagnosed at the time, but I was not having it. Nope, I didn't want to get there. So that's kind of where my why came from. And it still is to this day. Like, do you think your why has changed throughout your journey?
Not so much in the health realm. The little things like I was mentioning earlier, the seatbelt extenders and the rides and those kinds of things. I've achieved those non-skill victories, so it's very exciting. But now that isn't necessarily a motivation for me to continue moving forward. Of course, I want to protect the progress, but as I mentioned, I still have a ways to go until I'm at my maintenance journey. And so it's kind of thinking about what's going to move me forward. And it's interesting you brought up that situation with your mom and what she was going through. And I talked to my mom and I said, do you feel comfortable with me kind of diving into what you were going through? And she said, better you than me. My mom, she had been living with type 2 diabetes, and she was one of those people in my corner trying to say, hey, do this while you're young. It gets a lot harder when you get older and there's a lot more complications. And she's always been my big cheerleader. So I started in February of 2020 and using WW as a tool. And it was after a conversation I'd had with her about considering weight loss surgery. And because we were both just kind of feeling fed up with it and we just wanted to be done having to worry about it. We thought weight loss surgery was going to be a solution. Then I weighed the cost of WW versus the cost of weight loss surgery. And okay, if I do WW for this many years, then I'll get to goal, and then I will have only paid this amount of money. And it was like this huge ordeal. So I committed to WW, and then I'd been on the program for a few months when in June of 2020, my mom was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. And we almost lost my mom. And it was a situation brought on by undiagnosed sleep apnea caused from being overweight.
Wow.
And sleep apnea can actually cause heart failure when it's going undiagnosed and untreated.
I did not know that. Oh,
Yeah, we
wow.
didn't either until this happened. So
For all those
we were
out there with
like,
sleep apnea, yeah, like look
yeah, so
into it.
yeah, go get a sleep test done, which is not the point of
Wow.
this podcast,
Yeah.
but a lot of things can be brought on because of weight it related issues. And so that was a turning point where she got home from the hospital. She said, okay, I'm joining WW. And my whole family followed suit. So then it was a matter of, I have to keep paving the way. I can't give up now.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. And so now it's just like protecting the progress that I've made and knowing that there's just such a huge benefit of living a healthy lifestyle, despite what the scale actually says, but just how we feel when we take care of ourselves. I think that's what really motivates me every single day to just keep showing up, whatever that looks like.
And you know what's funny? So my teenagers are getting to this point in their life where obviously, they don't want to listen to the adults. However, my daughter has joined softball. And so
Mhm.
she's been getting very consistent with getting up, and going to the gym with me because she wants to get in that strength training because she knows that that's going to help her with, what she wants to do. My son is in ROTC and he literally asked me day before yesterday, he said, how do you do it? I was like, what do you mean, bud? He's like, how do you keep the motivation to eat well and to keep working out? And I was telling him, it's so much more than just eating well and working out because I know what it's doing for me. I
Mhm.
know what it's doing for my body. And I know like you talked earlier about a non-scale victory, all of these non-scale victories that I've had, even from being able to bend down and tie my shoe without being winded,
Oh my
it's
gosh, yes.
so many things that, kind of keep us on that path and keep us in that focus. Because I think for some people, I mean, like you said, you did other programs before,
Mhm.
and I had too. I had done that, calorie counting, and I can't tell you how much like research I did on keto. Yeah, never did
Mhm.
it. But I did. I looked, and I
I
looked.
tried. I lasted like 2
Yes.
weeks and I gave up.
I've tried like the military diet. I tried just working out, like all of these things, but finding such a great balance with WW and just being able to live it as a lifestyle. And there's literally like no restrictions. That's what's been very livable for me. And especially now after losing this 100 pounds, I don't ever want to get back up to the weight that I was at.
Right.
I can't even envision how I moved around on a daily basis. You just the other day, you had posted on your Instagram. How big was that? Was that a bag of dog food you had picked up or cat food?
Yeah, 100-pound bag of dog food, and I
Yeah,
couldn't even really lift it.
yeah.
I had to get help. Yeah, it was two 50-pound bags, and I couldn't even last long enough to get a photo. I had to lean up against like a whole other stack of dog food because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna drop this. I'm like, how is I carrying this around every day and living life? And
Yeah.
like I said earlier, I tried not to let my size hold me back. I mean, I ran full marathons before I'd even joined WW,
Yeah.
but there were just some things that the way things were going, I was like, I had to sit on the sidelines, and that's just not my personality. So I said,
Yeah.
enough of sitting on the sidelines. And I think what we were kind of sharing here is we get started, but then through consistency, reconnecting with our why, and then seeing results, we build that self-efficacy. And when we really believe in
Good
ourselves
word.
and we have
Yeah.
that worth of like our health is actually worth showing up for every single day,
Yeah.
then it just gets easier to keep showing up. And one thing I learned too, and I know we're going to get to talk about so much stuff with this podcast, which is why I'm
Yeah.
really excited about it, but it's like our best doesn't have to look the same every single day.
Oh, yeah.
We have to give our best, yes, but like our best during the holiday season might not be the same best that we're giving in January, right?
Yeah.
When we're feeling refreshed and renewed, or summer
Yeah.
vibes are different than like when it's getting
Oh,
dark at
yeah.
4 o'clock, or but still showing up, still having the conversation, still reconnecting with the why, all of those things. I think
Oh, yeah.
that just keeps the momentum going. It's really all about the momentum.
And I love that you say that, like all these things, right? All of these things that can help keep us on the straight and narrow, keep us in that motivation. Because there's somebody else that, because for those that don't know, Maggie and I actually currently now work for WW. We are virtual coaches. And there was another coach that I had heard say this one time, and I absolutely loved it. She said, you can't always depend on your willpower. And she said, imagine Will as a little dude, little guy, little helper for you. And he has this big backpack. And every time you need help with him, you're like, oh, here, Will, you carry this. And he's like, sure, Miss Rachel, I can carry that for you. And he will every single time. But
Yeah.
Will is going to get to that point where he cannot carry that bag anymore. And what happens? Then what are you going to rely on? So, like you said, consistency. That consistency is key. I mean, in the very beginning, when I first started working out, I kid you not, I could do maybe 5 minutes. Maybe. And I felt like I was going to fall over. I could barely walk to the corner without my back hurting and my feet hurting. And now I go to the gym at least, like I work out at least 3 times a week. I'm in the gym 3 times. I'll do, running, jump rope, dancing. We're going roller skating tonight. I mean,
fun.
all sort of, I know. I'm very excited to go tonight. All sorts of other fun things, but we are always consistent. And like I said with my daughter, she's 15. I love that she's building these habits as well because, like, they're on Christmas break right now. If that tells you when we're recording.
Yeah.
They're on Christmas break right now. And she got up at 6 a.m. Monday morning to go with me to the gym. She's like, are we going to the gym on Monday? And I was like, yep, well, sure. She goes, okay.
Yeah.
Consistency. She is getting that like phenomenal consistency, and I'm really, really proud of that. Just her so young with a habit like that, those healthy living habits. Because have you noticed now on the days that you can't get in a lot of activity or things like that you can feel it?
Yeah,
I can feel a difference.
I can definitely feel a difference too in the food pillar when I maybe haven't gotten in as many veggies as I normally would, or like most of my plates have been like brown foods, which they're all yummy, and I love that I can have them on WW. But there's been a big shift in like what my threshold is and of what I feel comfortable with and what I know makes me feel good. And yeah, I think the combination of the movement and the food, it just really is what makes us feel good. And I heard a mantra in a workshop, which was, my promise is to take care of myself.
Oh,
and
I like that.
Yeah, and it's like I just kind of asked myself, like, what does taking care of myself really look like today? And that just kind of helps me break down any barriers of excuses.
But you know what I also love too is like it's what that is going to look different to you than it is to me. You know what I mean? And that is okay. I know I've myself as well. I know I'm guilty of this in the past as well, of feeling like my goals should have matched yours, or I should be doing the same amount that you do, or you know what I mean? And that's just not the case. And that is something else that I love with, I know we bring up WW a lot, but it's been such a phenomenal program for us. And you had mentioned pillars. So if anybody doesn't realize, if I've never been on WW, we have 4 pillars that we tend to focus on, and that's food, activity, sleep, and mindset. And it really, really does boil down to those 4. I mean, and I've noticed too, like you were saying, on the days that, we get in our activity, my sleep pillar is doing a little bit better. And on the days that maybe I'm not getting in all of my greens, maybe my mindset pillar isn't, at its peak. And there's just so many ways that they interact with one another. And I really do love that about our program and everything. And yeah.
Yeah, I think with our health and wellness journey in general, it's not about any one specific pillar or idea of, okay, to be a healthy person, I have to be in the gym 2 hours every single day, or to be a healthy person, I have to have 6 cups of kale every single day, or I have to sleep 8 hours every single day, or it's how can I show up and live a healthy lifestyle and take care of these things that make me feel good, and know that it's not just a one size fits all, and it's not a one track lifestyle, right? I mean, it's just kind of like, how can I show up and take care of myself in all of the areas of wellness, and weight loss will inevitably come with that, or weight maintenance, depending upon where you are in the journey. So
well, and you know what else I personally love, and I feel like I see it a lot with other members, which I genuinely really, really do love our community and the community that WW has built within all of our members. But especially at this time of year, I thought I would see a lot more negative Nellies about like, oh, I've given in to the holiday food and I've given into this. And not one person has been doubting themselves. Not one person has been putting themselves down because there is no pass or fail there. You know what I mean? There's our nobody's journey is going to be a straight trajectory. It's always going to look like a roller coaster, and that's okay. And I love that WW normalizes that, like 100%, that you can still have those holiday cookies and still 100% be back on track tomorrow. Like, it's just, I love it so much. And something else, though, that we do within WW that we actually kind of want to share with everybody along our podcast journey is every week in workshops, we talk about our goals. Setting goals is huge. It's huge. It's like Maggie said earlier, as we start to hit goals and we start to see ourselves and understand our self-efficacy and really understand that we can do these things, we get more confident, we get, more prideful, we start setting bigger goals for ourselves. So setting goals is really important. And we always set a STAR goal. And that's something that is specific, truly doable, has an action, and is relevant. And then, so every week during our podcast, we would like to share with you guys our STAR goal for that week. We're also going to share a recommendation. So I will go first today. So my STAR goal for this week, and if you haven't noticed, it is during the holiday season that we are currently recording right now. I know there's a lot of holiday treats and things out there, and I know I'm going to give myself a little bit of a leeway when it comes to those things. So my water, I want to make sure I am not skimping on my water. I'm getting 60 ounces a day. Actually, look at, if I can reach, can you see my favorite bottle?
Yes,
I love this bottle, my WW 40-ounce bottle. So I try to make sure I have that, and then one of my 20-ounce Starbucks bottles. That is my STAR goal this week. Every day, I'm not skimping on my water. And then I have a recommendation for this week, and this probably isn't going to be a shocker, but my recommendation, if for anyone who is looking to go on a wellness journey, pay attention to your health and wellness, start to have a different relationship with food and yourself, I highly recommend WW. I really, really do. WW has been in my life for 20 years. I just realized that the other day. The first time I ever signed up for WW was in 2002, and it's going to be 2022. So for 20 years, WW has been in my life, and it was the only program that ever worked. And this time is just like focusing on the mindset and all of the pillars is what truly, truly has made it livable and like long-term for me. So that is my STAR goal and my recommendation for this week.
Yes. And just to expand, Rachel explained STAR goals very well. But one thing I want to highlight, since we are spending time explaining, is a STAR goal is not an I would like to lose 2 pounds this week.
Yes.
Or I would like to lose 50 pounds by the end of 2022. It should never be about a number or anything scale related, because at the end of the day, we can't control the scale. So if we have a weight loss goal, that's wonderful, but what are we in control of that we know is going to get us closer to that goal? And that's where STAR goals come into play. So for me, my biggest weapon in my journey is my honest tracking. And during this time of year, when there are some higher point opportunities thrown my way, some choices, right? Some exciting foods, I want to take ownership of those choices. I want to feel good about them. I don't want to have any shame attached to them. So my commitment is to honestly track through the end of 2022 or 2020 forever. No, but definitely through this holiday season that we're filming in. And I'm actually doing a little challenge in my group on the WW app. As a coach, we're tracking to 22. So we're just sharing our trackers every day. So my goal is to track honestly and share my tracker in my group, just like many of the other members are. And then my recommendation, to follow up with what Rachel suggested, I joined WW as a member in February of 2020. And I was a workshop member from the very beginning. And I have not missed a single week of workshops since I began. And, I didn't end up becoming a coach because I believe so much in the program and I love the workshop experience. So if you're thinking about ever joining WW, I would say you're worth the investment to add workshops into your membership and at least just give it a try. Because like we've been sharing, the community is such a benefit in the journey. The conversations that we have around these pillars, you just don't get when you're a digital only member. So workshops all the way.
I agree. Yeah. When I first started, I was, weeks before the pandemic. So everything shut down. I didn't have an opportunity and I wasn't in a studio yet. So even when they went virtual, I didn't have one to go to. But I cannot imagine our lives without virtuals now, because I've had members hop on when they're on vacation in Mexico. I had somebody in Ottawa this morning.
Yeah.
Like in Canada. I mean, I have a member who's in Hawaii. I have a member who lives in Alaska. Like, I adore that we can all do this together and we can be so far apart. And for those that don't realize, I'm in California and Maggie's in Florida.
Yeah.
And we met through WW. We've become friends. We've become accountability buddies. We challenge each other. And it's all from this phenomenal platform and that we just want to keep talking to you guys about, like primarily, with our journey and how we've done this. So
yeah. Definitely what you'll find with WW and hopefully by listening to our podcast is that you're never, ever alone in what you're going through on your health and wellness journey.
Absolutely. Well, I think that wraps up episode 1.
Woo! Yay!
I know. Well, thank you for joining us today. Please like and subscribe and find us every week. We will be posting and just get in the conversation with us. So have a fabulous day and we'll see you next time.
All right. Have a magical one. Bye.